Is brought to you by Aaron Saxon Associates.
Right now at 5, all students and the driver managed to get safely off a burning Joplin school bus.
And we've got some patchy fog out there for some of us on another chilly start for us. Warmer weather on the way, rain on the way later. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a new clinic in Iola, Kansas will soon take the place of 3 VA clinics.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we've got some information we need to pass along.
Yeah, breaking news this morning. Country singer Toby Keith has died. A post shared on the singer's account on X says that the country star passed away peacefully on Monday night.
The post also says Keith, quote, fought his fight with grace and courage in 2022. Singer announced he was diagnosed with stomach cancer. Keith's known for his hit songs Red Solo Cup and Should Have Been a Cowboy. He was 62. I think Toby Keith is probably, my mom went through this country phase when I was younger, and he's probably the only country album I ever actually bought.
Oh, he was
I
right after
enjoyed
9/11, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue. It was a classic. That was the anthem of the nation at the time.
Yeah,
So.
He's going to be deeply missed. Fantastic country artist, fantastic artist in general. My favorite song of his, there are earrings out here. My favorite song of his, though, would have to be How Do You Like Me Now?
How do you like me now? That's
I don't
a great
sing.
one.
I don't, because there are reasons, but it's just kind of crazy. I mean, it's 18 months after he announced he had the diagnosis.
Yeah, very sad. Very sad. He will be missed.
Absolutely. And we've also got at least a fairly decent day for us, at least out there. Maybe a great day to put on a couple of Toby Keith albums, because it's going to be relatively decent as clouds, though, increase later today. Quick look outside. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. And as you can see, at least in Joplin, looks pretty good so far. Got a little breeze out there, nothing crazy. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline, also looking great this morning. However, fog tracker showing primarily along and west of 69, where we do have some patchy fog out there, and some of it is dense. Chanute, Parsons, Fredonia, and Independence, pretty recently reduced visibilities. This morning when I got here and loaded this, Iola had just a 1/10 of a mile of visibility, and we do have just a couple of counties, Coffee and Greenwood, under dense fog advisories until 10 o'clock this morning. Of course, if that changes, we will bring you the information on that. Quick look outside. Unfortunately, as the fog rolls in, the KDOT cameras are down this morning. Otherwise, it'd be a great opportunity to see how conditions are near Pittsburgh. But we are sitting at 29 in Joplin, 30 in Pittsburgh, and so some freezing fog is also a potential out there. Kids getting on the bus this morning. Again, some of us dealing with some of that patchy fog out there. Calm breeze, otherwise partly cloudy in 31 by the time that bus picks them up. We're going to be partly cloudy by this afternoon, 55 when that bus brings them home, with a south breeze at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Highs today are going to be going into the upper 50s, right near 60 degrees, and then we'll have a momentary point of mostly clear skies by late morning, early afternoon, and then clouds will gradually begin to increase through the late afternoon, evening, and overnight hours, ahead of some rain chances in the next couple of days. We'll take a look at all of that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, no one was hurt in a Joplin school bus fire yesterday afternoon. Investigators tell us 15 to 20 kids were on the bus when a fire started in the engine and the bus around 3 yesterday afternoon. That was on South Rangeline, just off I-444. All the kids and the driver managed to get off safely. Police, fire, and ambulance workers from Joplin and Newton County all responded to the 911 call, but again, no one was hurt. And authorities have arrested 2 suspects in a weekend shooting death in Coffeyville, Kansas. Police are seeking second-degree murder charges against 28-year-old Michael McGinnis, Jr. of Liberty, Kansas, and 50-year-old William McGinnis of South Coffeyville, Oklahoma. They're under arrest for the shooting of 39-year-old Raymond Burnett at a Coffeyville, Kansas home Saturday night. Burnett has since died at the hospital. Authorities have not yet released many details. An Independence, Kansas man will head back to court next week for a hearing in an attempted murder case. 46-year-old Jesse Lewis is charged with attempted first-degree murder in the stabbing of Mary Lou Vinoster. Authorities say it happened on January 30th. Lewis is also charged with fleeing from law enforcement, interference with a law enforcement officer, criminal threat, and theft. Independence, Kansas Police Department announced a new online crash reporting system. The new system will allow users to report any non-injury accidents that occur within the city limits, whether they happen on public streets or private parking lots. You can find out more information on our website at koamnewsnow.com. And if you're ever on the go and want to still be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge on app stores of your choice. Just search for KOAM Plus. And 3 VA clinics in the area will be closing as the VA Eastern Kansas healthcare system announced a new community-based outpatient clinic in Iola, Kansas. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
Veterans who receive care in Fort Scott, Garnett, and Chanute will transfer their care to the new Iola clinic. So that's how I knew that they were closing.
Tamitago is one of more than 850 veterans who will be impacted by the closure of 3 VA clinics in southeast Kansas. He fears the changes will be a hardship for some fellow veterans.
I can still do it. I mean, I'm fairly good health, but there's people that's not, and older and can't get around as good and have trouble seeing and everything else.
It takes Tamitago about 25 minutes to drive from his home to the current Fort Scott VA clinic. But once they move to Iola, if he chooses to go there, the drive should take about 50 minutes.
There is that concern of drive time. One thing is a lot of telehealth. We're trying to push that out a little further to that area.
According to the VA officials, the clinics being closed are part-time ones. They say the new location will offer full-time services 5 days a week.
The veterans who are currently patients at the 3 clinics that are closing, they are welcomed in the new Iola clinic, but they could also choose to go to the one in Parsons or in Kansas City. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. This consolidation to one central location affords them an opportunity to still receive care, to choose where they want to receive care.
They also say the changes are a chance to provide additional services they were not able to provide in part-time clinics.
We're looking at all options of what their needs, what they may be eligible for, and really trying to make it as easy as it can be when a change and a transition occurs.
Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
The Iola VA is expected to open in spring of 2024. You can watch the complete interview with the VA officers at our website at koamnewsnow.com. There you can also find details about the in-person information sessions that they'll be offering this week in Garnett, Chanute, Iola, and Fort Scott. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, several football standouts made their college commitments yesterday. We'll have the details. Plus, King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer, according to Buckingham Palace. And we have a nice and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Dreams. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
High school signing day is later this week. This Wednesday, we'll bring you to several high schools that have athletes heading to the next level. In the last day, several football standouts make their college commitments, one of them being Joplin's signal caller. Joplin quarterback Hobbs Gooch commits to Benedictine College. He announced that on Twitter. The Eagle QB is coming off a senior year where he threw for just under 1,700 yards and 15 touchdowns while starting 10 games. He also led Joplin to a road playoff win over Kickapoo and an appearance in the district championship. Two standouts from Lamar make their college commitments as well. Kyler Nance and Ian Gucci are teammates with the Tigers and led them to a Class II state championship this season. And now they'll remain teammates in college. Both of them are committed to Southwest Baptist University in Bolivar. Each of them are first-team All-State performers in 2023, Nance at linebacker and Gucci as an athlete. And the playoffs aren't here yet for Oklahoma High School basketball. We'll I'll have to wait another week and a half for that, but we do know what the playoff bracket looks like. In Class 2A, Afton will host the District 6 playoff game with Quapaw boys and girls as the visitor. The Eagles girls team is the number 11 team in the state in the most recent OSSAA rankings, and the Owls boys team is number 8 in the state. Both games will be played next Friday night. And still in Class 2A, the winners from both of those games will play the winners from these two games. District 7 playoff, which is held at Wyandotte. Next round will be played at Fairland the following Thursday night. Wyandotte and Quapaw each have 4 regular season games remaining before getting to the playoffs. Over to Major League Baseball, the Royals made history yesterday afternoon. They ensure one of their franchise cornerstones will stay in Kansas City for the foreseeable future. According to ESPN, the Royals and Bobby Witt Jr. agreed to an 11-year, $288 million contract extension. Witt just finished his second major league season and is 23 years old. The deal includes a clause that allows him to opt out after the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th years. He led the major leagues in triples last season and is the first Kansas City player to hit 30 home runs and steal 30 bases in a season. This is the largest contract in Royals franchise history. Wrapping things up with college basketball, 40 minutes wasn't enough for the Sunflower Showdown between 4th-ranked Kansas and Kansas State. KSU up 1 in overtime. The Wildcats took the lead on an Arthur Kaluma layup in the last 30 seconds, but KU responds, send it to OT. Let's tell the KOAM why a new report says Americans pay about 3 times more for prescriptions than residents in other countries. We'll have the details. Plus, we'll have another check your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Taking the field is Abernathy Roofing. Free estimate. Abernathy Roofing and Construction.
Nominate your Fort State hero today.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:16, coming up on 5:17 on this Tuesday morning, taking a live look from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Looking pretty good so far on the Missouri side of things, and MoDOT camera 20th and range line also looking good. As mentioned earlier, unfortunately right now the KDOT cameras are down, but we are dealing with fog, and it is primarily confined along and west of 69. It's not to say, as you see, we've got some slightly reduced visibilities east of that, but you can see the densest fog centered right over Chanute, Fredonia, Independence, Parsons, and as I mentioned earlier this morning, Iola, about 4 o'clock or so, was reporting about a 1/10 of a mile of visibility. Coffee and Greenwood counties in southeast Kansas, dense fog advisories through 10 o'clock this morning. Those are the only 2 at this point, but that's not to say that that couldn't change. And the other concern with fog this morning is the fact that it could be freezing fog because of that. It is 29 degrees in Joplin. Now, I am uncertain why our camera at 7th and range line has decided to go night vision on us, but kind of a neat little shot there. East breeze at 3 right now. And we've got clear skies out there for now. Temperatures around the region were a little colder this morning, even than where we were yesterday. Some of us a little closer to average, like Iola and Parsons, Chautauqua, Miami, for example, back into the 20s. The rest of us, we got some low 30s out there. As we go through today, though, we're going to actually, even though we're colder to start this morning, we're going to be warmer today than we were yesterday. And this isn't the first time this has happened. Of course, you folks around here, you know this isn't the last time it's going to happen, where we're colder today and we're going to be warmer than we were the day before. Patchy fog, again, through about 9, 10 o'clock this morning. That burns off. Partly cloudy skies give way to at least momentary, mostly clear skies. We'll be in the upper 40s by late morning. And then as we head through the afternoon, clouds gradually increase. They don't just roll in all at once, but they will gradually increase through the afternoon. However, we're looking at a lot more 60-degree readings out there today. As we go through the rest of the evening and overnight, we transition to just straight up cloudy skies. And then those clouds go back to acting as that thermal blanket. So our temperatures level off about 20 degrees above normal. In fact, again, our overnight lows tonight are close to where our average highs should be. Over the next couple of days, we've got ourselves a couple of changes. As we head through our Wednesday, we're going to start to see wind gusts out there, primarily upwards of 30 miles an hour. And then heading into Thursday, we could see wind gusts pushing 40, 45 miles an hour in some instances out there. And that is ahead of increasing rain chances as we go into our Thursday as well. So by Thursday Thursday morning. Not only is it breezy, but we'll have some scattered showers out there as we head into our Thursday as well. So what does that look like as we go down the road? Well, we're going to go low 60s tomorrow, cloudy. Scattered showers, few peaks of sunshine, mid-60s. Nice on Friday, mid-60s. More rain on Sunday, but we got a pretty good Saturday. And as we head into next week, we warm back up again. Temperatures bouncing a little bit, but not looking too bad at all. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with Health Watch right after this.
When I noticed my was at Pascal, take advantage of up to $300 off a professionally installed and supplied water heater. Schedule now at gopascal.com.
Topping Health Watch this morning, more bad news about a chronic condition affecting women called polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS. It's caused by a hormonal imbalance in women that causes symptoms like irregular periods, acne, excess body hair, and infertility. Now research has revealed another potential symptom later in life, cognitive decline. A new study involved more than 900 females between the ages of 18 and 30 at the start of the study, some who had PCOS and some who did not. The participants were followed for 30 years and completed tests on memory, verbal abilities, attention, and processing speed. The study's author says that the results suggest that women with PCOS have lower memory and thinking skills and subtle brain changes at midlife. The World Health Organization believes PCOS affects about 10% of females worldwide. There is no cure. And a study found that the weight loss drug tirzepatide helps significantly lower blood pressure in adults who are overweight or obese. Although the research could not tell if the reduction came from the drug itself or weight loss from taking the drug, in the study funded by the drug's maker Eli Lilly, 600 adults took the drug for 9 months, and the drug is sold under the brand names Zepbound for obesity and Mounjaro for diabetes. The research is part of a larger clinical trial that previously showed weekly tirzepatide injections resulted in weight loss of up to 22% in overweight or obese adults. That helped prompt the Food and Drug Administration to approve the drug for chronic weight management in November. And a new report says Americans pay about 3 times more for prescriptions than residents in other countries. The finding in the RAND Healthcare report shows prescription drugs are 2.8 times higher in the U.S. compared to prices in 33 other countries. Prices are even higher when it comes to brand name drugs sold in the U.S., with generic drugs more similar to average drug prices in studied countries. The report also says a majority of the money made by drug companies comes from Americans, but only 24% of the total drugs sold are actually in the U.S. Are artificial intelligence apps for diet and nutrition actually good for you? Health experts say for now, you may want to pass. For more apps that are hitting the market claiming artificial intelligence can be your diet or nutrition coach, some health advocates say while AI apps can help in some aspects, like monitoring food intake or portion sizes, consumers still need human input on personal nutrition. One New York dietitian says people having ongoing medical conditions or disorders need interactive professional advice and human progress monitoring and perhaps diet motivation that AI apps for now can't give. And it's one of the most common childhood disorders, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. It affects millions of children and symptoms can persist into adulthood. But some experts say misinformation about the disorder on social media may put some people at risk. Andy Gaither has more on why an expert says ADHD self-diagnosis could be dangerous.
If properly diagnosed, people with ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder can get medication to help with symptoms like the inability to concentrate or sit still. Social media may be helping to reduce stigma surrounding this disorder, but some believe it's doing some damage too.
I think the whole conversation around mental health, of course, has changed for the better in the sense that people are actually quite open and honest about talking about their individual struggles. But the challenge or the flip side of it is that it almost becomes talked about term in the popular sphere where clinical terms might start to get misused.
Clinical psychiatrist Dr. Anthony Young and his colleagues started studying ADHD videos posted on social media after noticing more patients coming in for help with focus and concentration. Young says the research revealed More than half of the top 100 most popular videos posted on ADHD at the time had misleading information about the disorder. Their concern is that more people are diagnosing themselves with ADHD and getting treatment they may not even need.
If everybody starts identifying themselves as having ADHD, if like 10% becomes 20%, becomes 30, becomes 50, becomes 60%, then really what is the disorder that we're talking about here? Where are we drawing the line?
If you suspect ADHD, health experts say it's important to see a doctor to be evaluated. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says ADHD diagnosis is a process with several steps. The first step is to reach out to a healthcare provider to find out if the symptoms fit the diagnosis. This can be at a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a primary care provider. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves some patchy fog in some locations, and it is a bit colder this morning, but we are on tap for a warmer day out there, and we're going to see the clouds increase. We'll take a look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Forever, only at Roper Honda on virtually every vehicle.
Your warranty lasts forever at Roper Honda.
Right now at 5:30, students in Carthage celebrate the 100th day of school with some special presentations.
And we've got ourselves a pretty cold start out there. However, it's going to warm up today, and we're going to see clouds increase later, and then rain later this week as well. We'll take a look at that forecast, though, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Missouri Southern education students take some time to show elementary students different activities for a healthy heart.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5:30 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So we got some patchy fog out there for some of us. Didn't really run into much of that on the way here. So mainly right now along in west of 6. Without the map in front of me, all of a sudden my directions are gone. I don't know which way is which.
Well, go get that map, Chris.
I'm kidding. I know which way is which. That's south. Okay, maybe I don't. Let's go take a look outside real quick with the MoDOT. Okay, I know I just forgot the names of the other directions. I know which way they are from where south is, but it happens. All right, look, I'm only like 1 cup of coffee into the morning. Give me another half hour or so, and I'll get it sorted out. In the meantime, though, looking pretty good from MoDOT camera again. 20th and Range Line in Joplin. Here's a look at that fog tracker. That's west. Now, in our building where I'm standing, that's actually north. But on this map, to this direction is west, and west of 69 is where we have the densest fog, and it's continuing to kind of spread through Oklahoma and Kansas. Independence, Fredonia, Chanute, Iola, Parsons, Nowata, Sedan, all with some decently reduced visibilities out there. However, at least at this point, Greenwood and Coffee counties, the only 2 counties with dense fog advisories, and these will run until 10 o'clock this morning. But of course, if that changes, we'll let you know. 29 in Joplin. 30 in Pittsburgh, as mentioned. For those of you maybe didn't catch it earlier, KDOT cameras are down this morning, unfortunately, but we can at least still tell you what the temperature is. So again, some of us dealing with some fog, low 30s when the bus picks up the kids, calm breeze, and when that bus brings them home this afternoon, partly cloudy skies, mid 50s, south breeze 5 to 10. We are looking at highs, upper 50s, low 60s today. Mostly clear skies late morning, early afternoon, and then clouds will gradually begin to increase as we head through the late afternoon and evening hours. We've got some very strong wind gusts on the way over the next couple of days, plus some rain chances. We'll look at all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Some people in Joplin, Pittsburgh, and elsewhere around the 4 states felt Friday's earthquake that was centered in Prague, Oklahoma. The 5.1 magnitude earthquake did not cause any serious damage in our area, but it might have some people wondering if their insurance would provide coverage against earthquakes.
Your typical homeowner's policy doesn't cover earthquake, just like how it doesn't cover flood insurance. Certain houses, especially if the house is all brick, made out of concrete, insulated concrete forms, anything where if there's any ground movement, there could be some substantial damage outside of just maybe some foundation cracking, that's where earthquake might be worth looking into.
Many insurance companies stopped insuring earthquakes in the 1990s after projections suggested that a major earthquake could potentially bankrupt them. And every February, students at Webster Primary in Webb City learn about the inner workings of the heart by running, hopping, and crawling. They perform various activities carrying red and blue balls representing the cardiovascular system. Students from Missouri Southern's Elementary Education Department were invited to help.
So if you have a blue ball over here, that means your blood cell's not good. But when you have a red blood cell, that means it's good.
We get to see the fun side of things where we can look forward to these days in our future teaching career, because teaching can be stressful sometimes. And so when we get to see days like this where our kids are having fun and effective learning is taking place, it is really encouraging for us future teachers.
And February is Heart Awareness Month. It was a special day yesterday for students in Carthage. Students in Carthage elementary schools are celebrating the 100th day of school yesterday. Kindergartners have been counting to this day all year. Students created special projects to mark the occasion. Their teachers also designed activities to help students celebrate, including 100 licks of a lollipop. Teachers and students also dressed as if they were 100 years old.
They're just really excited because it's a big number. We've been counting down, and they got to actually do something at home with their parents, and so it was a great family activity.
At our house, we put little, we drawed 100, and then we put little sprinkle thingies on it.
Kindergarten teachers say students have around 70 more days of school, and they'll keep counting those as well. And Carthage students had another reason to celebrate. With the Super Bowl coming up, they're taking part in Super Bowl Spirit Week. Students dressed up as Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes for Mahomes Monday. Students sported Mahomes' number 15 jersey and his iconic headband to mark the occasion.
I am dressing like Patrick Mahomes because we are having Super Bowl Spirit Week.
I personally have been a Chiefs fan for over 50 years, and so I usually show my spirit with the Chiefs by showing them on a daily basis how I root for my team.
Special days honoring the Chiefs' journey to the Super Bowl will continue the rest of this week. Other themes include Read Wednesday and Travis Throwback Thursday. The kids at Bixby East Intermediate School in Bixby, Oklahoma put their creative heads together to make Valentine's Day cards for veterans. Staff then shipped the well wishes to the Claremore Veterans Home in Claremore, Oklahoma. Caring for the veterans hit close to home for some of the kids.
Notices the kids love it. Many of them have a grandparent or who is a veteran, or a parent who's currently actively serving or was recently became a veteran, and it's just been a great fit for them. They love the opportunity to make the Valentines and to tell the veterans that they may get their Valentine that their parent or grandfather or grandmother or even was in the service.
If you want to donate a Valentine to Claremore Veterans Home, you can drop it off at Triad Eye Institute in Grove through February 12th. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince in the Saudi capital on Monday. Plus, Chile begins an official two-day mourning period as the death toll from wildfires reaches 122 people. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
By Aaron Sachs and Associates, proud partner of Travis Kelce and his foundation, 87 and running.
Topping World Watch, King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer, according to Buckingham Palace. The 75-year-old monarch has started treatment, the diagnosis drawing well wishes from around the globe, including President Biden, who wished the king a speedy recovery on X. Correspondent Connor Hansen has more from New York.
King Charles was photographed leaving church just a day before the news of his cancer diagnosis came out.
He seemed to be looking pretty good, pretty independent. So while he is 75 years old, he's been, at least in appearance, very healthy and extremely active since he took over as the monarch.
The king's diagnosis comes after a recent hospital visit for an enlarged prostate. Buckingham Palace says his doctors found a separate issue, which turned out to be a form of cancer.
Our thoughts are with the king. This is really with the king and his family. That's incredibly sad news.
Despite a turbulent relationship in recent years, Prince Harry plans to visit his father on a trip back to the UK.
And that might be an opportunity perhaps for some reconciliation between the two.
According to Buckingham Palace, King Charles has started a regular treatment schedule. While he's postponing public duties, he will continue to work behind the scenes. This comes as another senior royal, Princess Kate, is also taking time off to recover from surgery.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince in the Saudi capital on Monday. It's Blinken's 5th visit to the Middle East since the start of the war in Gaza 4 months ago. The Secretary of State is hoping to help negotiate a ceasefire along with post-war planning for the region. But he's facing major challenges. Hamas and Israel are still far apart on key elements of a possible truce as Israel continues to dismiss U.S. calls for a Palestinian state. And so far, military strikes by the United Nations do not appear to be deterring Iran's militant allies from attacking other countries. And hundreds of people demonstrate in Belgrade over the acquittal of 4 intelligence officers in the killing of a prominent journalist. In an appeals court on Friday, overturned its previous verdict in 2021 in the death of Slavko Kuravija, saying accusations against the 4, quote, have not been proven beyond a doubt. The journalist, who was regarded as an enemy of the state by the regime of former Serbian Prime Minister Slobodan Milosevic, was fatally shot at the entrance of his apartment in 1999. His killing became a symbol for the struggle for a free press in the country. Serbian officials have repeatedly denied any pressure on non-government media, but they still hold a tight control over media outlets in the country. And Chile begins an official 2-day mourning period Monday as the death toll from the wildfires reaches 122 people. Hundreds are still missing, and officials say some 14,000 homes have been damaged. Anna Elopius takes a look at the aftermath.
Suddenly the wind began to come and the pine trees lit up, and the wind began to burn the hills in front.
People in Chile in shock, looking at the devastation caused by wildfires that started Friday. Many allowed to return to their homes Monday, but there's not much to return to. From the sky, you can see the land scorched, blackness now covering the once lush landscape, entire neighborhoods destroyed, the houses unrecognizable. Piles and piles of burnt-out cars line streets, some flipped over. In just one city alone, officials say more than 300 people have been reported missing and are feared dead.
My neighbor on the corner died. He was lying on the ground burned, and they took the bodies.
Many bodies have been badly burned and will be difficult for forensic workers to identify. The fires appear to have diminished Monday, but the cleanup and recovery are just beginning. Residents now tasked with saving whatever is left of their houses.
I want to stay here, but if I can't, I have to leave.
Many people say they prefer to sleep near their homes to prevent looters or others claiming the land their homes were built on.
This is the worst thing that has happened in Chile, the worst, because lives were lost here. History was lost, and that cannot be recovered.
Police are asking people who have not been affected by the fires to stay home so rescue crews can get around easier.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
When I noticed my heat stopped working, I decided to call the pros at Pascal. Take advantage of up to $300 off a professionally installed and supplied water heater. Schedule now at gopascal.com.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:46 now on this Tuesday morning, and we're cruising right along. This is a live shot from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex in downtown Joplin. We got clear skies in Joplin right now, and only patchy fog. MoDOT camera 20th and range line also looking pretty good. However, as we look at the fog tracker, we can see where fog is right along into the west of the US 69 corridors where the densest fog is. We do have reduced visibilities elsewhere, but Right now, Independence, Chanute, Iola, Fredonia, Parsons, all dealing with some reduced visibilities out there. So do slow down, give yourself time to get where you're going. And at this point, we still only have Greenwood and Coffee counties in Kansas that are under dense fog advisories until 10 o'clock this morning. But again, if that changes, we will, of course, let you know. All right, our camera, 7th and range line, looking pretty good right now. It is 29 in Joplin with an east breeze at about 3 miles an hour, and temperatures around the region. We're a little colder this morning, and it's always so wild to me, we're colder this morning than where we were yesterday morning. However, by this afternoon, we're actually going to be warmer today than where we were yesterday. You got to love how the coin flips there. We got some low 20s out there, upper 20s and low 30s across the region. So we're actually relatively close to average this morning, just a wee bit above. And then our highs today are going to be well above average. That patchy fog burning off by about 9, 10 o'clock. And we'll have a period of mostly clear skies by late morning into the early afternoon. We're going to go near 50 by 11. Heading into the afternoon, those clouds will gradually increase. It won't be just a shield that rolls right over us, but clouds gradually increasing through the day, and we're still going to make it right around 60 degrees out there. And bear in mind, our average high should be right about there. We should be in the low 40s, and that's where our lows are tonight. Low 40s because clouds continue to increase until we just go straight up cloudy overnight. And that will allow us to trap some of the warmth from today. Now, as we go into our Wednesday, that's where things get a little more interesting. We're going to be cloudy. We're going to be warmer tomorrow, but we're also going to see the winds increasing. We're going to see gusts out of the south around 30 miles an hour throughout the area. And then we head into Thursday, and we could see those gusts 40, 45 miles an hour out of the south. On top of that, it's also going to rain for us on our Thursday as well. So let's take a look at that. Our Wednesday, we're going to spend it pretty well just cloudy. But again, we're going to be a little warmer going into the low 60s, a lot more of those. And then we'll have those scattered showers by Thursday morning, and they'll be scattered. So they're not going to be everywhere all at once. And some of us may not see any rain at all on our Thursday, but we will see a few showers. And believe it or not, we're going to be even warmer on our Thursday. Some crazy weather here. All right, so tomorrow, cloudy, low 60s, breezy again Thursday, mid 60s Thursday and Friday. Friday, looking like a great day out there. Saturday, not bad. Not as warm, but still not bad. Mid-upper 50s, partly cloudy skies. We could see some additional rain chances on our Sunday, and so we're going to fall back closer to normal. So we're going to be cool, but it's going to feel, honestly, it's going to feel cold to where we're going to be the next few days, but it will be average. We're going to go partly cloudy by next Monday. That's a check of your forecast. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
It's easy to stay safe online. Learn more at Sysavik.
One Iowa high school basketball referee is as tough as the kids on the court. After suffering a gruesome injury during a game, he took matters into his own hands. More specifically, his kneecap. Scott Reister reports.
I remember turning to the student section and seeing people like that.
It was something. Lifelong ref Jerry Bohe was working Tuesday night's Southeast Warren Central Decatur game in Leon. Sam Booth collided with Bohe early in the fourth quarter.
It hyperextended, and then as he continued to roll into me, it caused my knee to kind of buckle inward. I felt a pop.
It was loud. I mean, and a lot of the players just kind of turned their head, and I was kind of wondering if he was okay.
I'm sitting there going, okay, this is not good. I'm sitting there going, okay, this is where the hard-headed me comes into play. I've got to pop this in so we can finish this game. Anyway, I was able to flex it out and snap it back in.
I just thought, ew.
He slipped on an e-brace and finished the game.
After he started walking it off, everyone just started cheering. That was probably the loudest moment in the gym that night.
There was a lot of pain, and it wasn't one of the smartest decisions I've ever done.
So why not, sit down?
I've officiated basketball, football, and softball going on almost 44 years, and I've only been knocked out of 2 games. I refuse to be taken out and not finish a game. It's just again, I guess I'm kind of hard-headed in that regards. It was a fun environment, and I didn't want to leave it.
Well, at least he found a way to not get benched during the game. We'll be right back with more news after this.
Time to
to change your luck. Indigo Sky.
Cash, check, or card accepted. See you before the big game Sunday, February 11th.
Does it feel like you're looking for love in all the wrong places? According to a new study, you just might be. Wallet Hub compared 182 cities across 3 main categories: economics, dating opportunities, and fun and recreation. The Hub says Seattle threads the Space Needle at #1 for restaurants, social clubs, and $70,000 medium income. Las Vegas is at #2 with hot nightlife and low crime. Denver's at 3 thanks to great parks and fitness center, and the rest of the top 10 featured cities like Atlanta, Austin, Portland, and Tampa. Well, it's only Tuesday and this weekend is still a good ways away, so if you need something to brighten up your day, you should treat yourself to some frozen yogurt. That's because Tuesday is National Frozen Yogurt Day, observed every year on February 6th. This icy treat started out as a fad, but has become a freezer section staple over the years. According to nationaldaycalendar.com, dairy company HP Hood came up with the first frozen yogurt in 1970 in the U.S. They introduced it as a soft-serve dessert called Frogurt. Shortly thereafter, Humphreys and Dannon came out with their versions of frozen yogurt. Though its health benefits vary compared to ice cream, Froyo does tend to be lower in fat and calories. Celebrate with your favorite flavor in a cup or cone and share to social media with the hashtag National Frozen Yogurt Day.
And today, not necessarily a bad day for some frozen yogurt out there. We got that patchy fog out there, and that'll burn off by about 9, 10 o'clock. We'll have a momentary window of mostly clear skies late morning into early afternoon. We're going to be near 50 by 11 as we head into the afternoon. Highs about 20 degrees, almost 20 degrees above normal out there as we go right around 60. And we'll start to go partly cloudy. Again, clouds will gradually increase as we head through the late afternoon, evening, and overnight hours. And then we'll go just plain cloudy later tonight and overnight. However, because of those clouds, our temperatures level off. We get that thermal blanket effect, and that keeps us into the low 40s for our overnight lows. And keep in mind, that's where our average highs should be. So that does put us tonight around 20 degrees above normal across the area. Going down the road, we're going to be cloudy, breezy tomorrow. South winds gusting to 30, south winds gusting potentially to 40 by Thursday. Low 60s, mid 60s, some scattered showers out there on Thursday. A great Friday out there, low to mid 60s, sunny. A little cooler on Saturday, but still not bad. Some rain chances again on Sunday, and then by Sunday and Monday, it's going to feel cold, but that's about where we're supposed to be, mid-upper 40s out there with those rain chances again on Sunday, and then we clear back out on Monday. Let's check your forecast. Got another hour of the KOAM Morning News coming up.
Hero Fund USA and KOAM News Now supporting the 4 states' first responders.